Let's talk presidents. In fact, let's talk all of them in order.
Yep.
That was it?
Hold on.
No.
Just wait. Let's talk Washington, Adams, Jefferson, Madison, Monroe, Adams, Jackson, Van Buren, Harrison, Tyler, Polk, Taylor, Fillmore, Pierce, Buchanan, Lincoln, Johnson, Grant, Hayes, Garfield, Arthur, Cleveland, Harrison, Cleveland, McKinley, Roosevelt, Taft, Wilson, Harding, Coolidge, Hoover, Roosevelt. No, hold on. Give me a second. Hoover. Yeah, it's Roosevelt. Truman.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah.
Second.
Yep.
Truman, Eisenhower, JFK, Johnson, Nixon, Ford, Carter, Reagan, Bush, Clinton, Bush, Obama, Trump.
Did you say Obama now?
Obama. Wow.
Obama now.
It took me all night.
Damn, dude.
Just an overall president thought here. What I love about presidents is that it's a human being, it's a person.
Yep.
And to me, like it's like like some college professors teach the Bible as literature. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they don't teach the Bible as a religious subject. They teach it as like what it's done for history and what the stories are about, and that kind of thing. I look at U.S. presidents that way. I don't have a political view about any of them. I just think they're fucking fascinating. And president, the word by itself, like your president is nothing. It's not. You're not a leader. You're not a ruler. You don't rule. You preside. I mean, that's literally what it means. Is that there's a whole group of people that are running the government by the people's will, and you preside. You just happen to be there. It's like in the Senate, whenever they show people in the Senate speaking, they always say Mr. President over and over again, and they're speaking to whoever is presiding. It's never the vice president is literally the president of the Senate, but it's whoever takes the chair that day. Who's presiding? It's an incidental title given to an equal who is chosen for that minute to preside. That's what I like about it. That's what I like about how they framed it.
Yeah. All right. Let's start with Washington, dude.
Yeah.
What do you guys know about him? What do you say?
I mean, Washington is
Never
like
lied.
a transitionary guy because he was so British. He was a British general. He wasn't like he wasn't born in the he didn't create America. It wasn't even his idea.
Yeah.
He was just a tool of. He was the first general president.
No, he was born in the U.S.
No, I know, but he wasn't like he was a Brit. He was a
He
was
fought
a
in the
Brit.
French and Indian War as a British.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a lord, wasn't
He actually kind of sucked in that.
In that war.
In fact, also kind of
Everybody sucked in the wars. Though.
everything he did was
It
retreating.
was luck to win anything. Then
Yeah. He was good at retreating. That was like his number one
it's an
thing.
important thing to be
which
good
is
at.
very good in war. They don't
Otherwise,
teach
you
that.
lose once. He would fight again because he retreated so well.
Yeah.
It's pretty tight, though. Show up and be like, nah, and just run away and like, nice.
1789. That's when he started. All
Well,
right.
most of the guys, it was so hard. Like a lot of the army didn't want to be there and didn't have to be there. It's crazy. Like 1776, the year that Washington did all that insane shit. It's crazy that people kept expecting the army to flee,
Yeah.
but they hung in there with little. It's not like they were like, we're making America that's coming later.
Yeah.
They had no fucking idea. So he's as good as they were, basically. And it's not, like you picture him on this horse, like talking, but no, most of them didn't even look at the guy. They didn't see him. Like in the movies when they show a guy making a speech, to a whole army, and
Yeah,
there's 3 guys can hear
Yeah,
him.
it's impossible.
And the rest are like, what's even happening? And they're all shitting on
Yeah, it's
the
like
ground.
Braveheart
They're
when
all
he's giving the
dying of-
speech. The only
Yeah.
people that can hear him are like, "Shut up!"
Yes,
Those
yeah.
2 dudes are like,
Yeah,
"The
yeah.
English are too many."
The English are too many.
Home.
Yes, we will live.
Yeah. We will live.
That's a good
All right.
point. I never thought about that.
Yeah.
No one heard those.
No one
speeches.
hears
No one
any
heard
of
any of their speeches, so it was really these guys all got together. I don't know. They got
stood
together.
there.
They decided to just keep doing it.
Oh.
When did they set term limits? I didn't even look into that because he just left.
Right. He was the first one to go. I could stay,
I-
but I'm. Let's
he's
get
like,
this
"I'm done."
going. Let's get this started.
Yeah.
There's some famous moment where he was speaking to the Congress, and they were trying to get him to king himself. And he was apparently really vain about that he wore glasses, so no one ever saw him with glasses on. And so the moment that's supposed to be this shocking moment was that he took out his glasses and put them on, and he said, like, "I fear I didn't see you for what you are." That was supposed to be this big moment. I like to think
It'd be
that
funny
if
if he
he
was
did,
dumb.
like, he was really hoping if he missed, he's like, "I fear I didn't see," and they're all like, "Yeah, you wear glasses. We all," you know what I'm saying though?
Yeah.
Like he keyed the whole thing on this moment. See what I'm saying? And they're like, "George."
Yeah. It's also a good moment for him to be like, "Yeah, you're right. You should not."
How
be
do you
king.
turn down
You're
king
trying to do
status,
funny
though?
jokes.
What?
How do you turn down? Like
That's what
you
makes
should
him
be
the
king, and you're like,
That's what makes
no.
him the man, dude.
So,
Adams.
Okay, Adams was like my favorite of those guys. Of
I
the
like
founding
Adams
fathers.
I like
dudes.
Adams from the show. I loved him in that. He was a great Paul Giamatti.
Well, I
As
read his biography. I listened to it. I don't read
As a
anything.
president,
Counts.
Oh, he was not a great president.
not at all.
It shows everybody's got these different kind of strengths. He was a great framer. He was one of the guys.
Yeah.
He did many very important and gutsy things. And he was also the only one of those guys who was not rich. He was a poor farmer. He was his education changed his life. He's like one of the first Americans who had that experience, where
Yeah.
he was, had a decent farm, but not much, but he made his brain work. And he excelled and passed that on to his son, who we'll talk about.
He
John
fucking
Quince.
ruled in the revolution.
Yeah.
Adams was the man.
Adams was just a doggedly hard-working. He was the only one who worked constantly.
Yeah.
And it was really the 3 of them in Madison, but he was the guy who did the hardest work to get this shit started.
Damn.
Yeah.
He also apologized for cursing.
Adams.
In one of his things, he's like, "I lament to admit that I sometimes cursed, which I feel shameful about."
Also, when Adams did his did the Constitution of Massachusetts, the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts is like the most liberal document in the world, because Adams was like, he's like, I'm going to get it right. Everything that I couldn't get done in the American Constitution, I'm doing in this. And there's stuff in there about Jews having rights. There's even something about gay people in there. Like he was into
What?
like
Oh, wow.
gay rights, Jews.
Back
Pretty
then.
gay back then.
It's pretty gay, pretty Jewish.
It's gay to be a gay Jew.
It's gay to be into Jews.
Dude,
To be
those,
into Jewish rights in the 1700s was gay.
those parliaments must have been
Undeniably gay.
Undeniably
crazy
gay.
back then. Like, I don't know, what about Jews? People are like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah,
It's
what are you
like,
talking
come on,
about,
guys.
Jews?
Back then, have
Stop.
a room full of dude in powder wigs being like, boo.
Yeah.
And what shall follow upon that? Universal enfranchisement? Votes for women?
Like,
And the Jews looked exactly they looked the same as they do now. The big black coats,
exact same outfits.
same outfits, same.
Hold on, I got what Adams did while he was in office. He was worried that his logic was another country could just come take this at any moment. So he came up with the Alien and Sedition Act, which meant
Oh.
if you talk shit on the government, we can jail you. So he started arresting journalists. He started
Well,
immediately-
he was the first liberal who got befuddled by guys that back then it was another Democrat. It was Jefferson.
yeah,
Going like whatever it takes to win.
yeah,
It's always been like the different parts of American democracy, the different kinds of people, the people who are like, we got to get this right. We got to sell our good ideas and convince people we're right. But then the other guys who are like, we just got to take office. We just need to win. And nerds lose that fight. Adams was the first one-term nerd president. There's a few of them.
Yes.
Yep.
Let's move to Jefferson.
He's number 3.
That's 01 to 09. He was a 2-term guy. Adams was a Federalist. Washington was obviously independent. Jefferson was a Democratic Republican. He was the first Mr. President. Right when he got in, the French and the British started going to war. Americans started being like, fuck England, let's join France in the war. He was the only one with the foresight to be like, we have 40 guys in our military and 3 boats.
Yeah.
Let's shut the fuck up.
Was not.
So he declared neutrality, and everybody called him a pussy. Then England started blocking his like fucking ships. I think he might have been the one who said, we're just not going to trade with either of them. So then the American economy just plummeted. England started just saying, if you're not trading with us, we're just going to confiscate your ships, kidnap all the sailors, make them join the British Navy.
What?
So he was getting punked by England. So here's a good one, because we got to speed up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he goes over. So Napoleon's in there in France.
Yeah.
Post-revolution. This is the Louisiana Purchase. They sent James Monroe over. That was his bro. He goes to France. They thought they were negotiating the sale of just the port of New Orleans. This is all thanks in part to the fucking Haitian Revolution, which fucked France. Look into the Haitian Revolution. Yeah. It rules. He gets over there. Monroe finds out, they're trying to sell all of the Louisiana. Like, it's from New Orleans to the Rockies to Canada. It's huge. From the Appalachians to the Rockies, basically. And they didn't have time to consult Congress. So Thomas Jefferson just bought it on the spot, which he was like, I abused the fuck out of my power. And that was his whole thing, is government should have no power. Yeah. He was against any
Well, that's what Jefferson's whole life was, like, doing fucked up things and then saying nobody should be able to, like, say slavery. He's like, people that need to stop having slaves. He's fucking a slave, and it's like, somebody's got to put a stop to this.
We got to stop this.
Somebody's got to stop this. Somebody's got to stop fucking these slaves.
Yeah.
Well, Louisiana
I wish it could be me,
got 6 kids.
but I need to fuck this one right now.
Those arguments must have been crazy.
But an interesting thing about him in terms of slavery and American politics is that his first elected position was in the Virginia legislature. He was like a House of Reps guy in Virginia. And the very first thing he ever did as a politician was to propose a bill in the Virginia government to abolish slavery in the state of Virginia. It was the first thing he did. Of course, he got shot down, but it was his desire and his dream.
Yeah.
Did you ever read his autobiography?
No.
It's amazing because he has no judgment of himself. So he's the only, like, a lot of people that write autobiographies, it's kind of careful. But like, he tells this story about he was living in London and there was a guy who worked for him, kind of like a half tradesman kind of guy who he befriended. And the guy had a woman he wanted to marry, a maiden, but he didn't have a position and he didn't have his own home yet. So, and his mother didn't want, I don't remember all the logistics, but it was that that he asked Benjamin if he could move his wife into his house so that they could marry. And he said, sure. And he said, and she moved into my home. And then I took it of my pleasure to, to partake of her sexually. And she, spurned my advances. So I threw her out, and that was the end of their marriage. And I never saw him again. He was real upset, and I never saw him again. But both their lives were destroyed. And then in May, I met this other guy. Like, he just talks. He did awful things to people and didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
A fun Jefferson story that I like is that when he was in Paris, he had this woman, a girlfriend named something Causeway or something. His wife died when he was pretty young, and she made him promise on her deathbed that he would never have another woman, which is a horrible thing to do.
Yeah, fuck,
to
man.
a young man that you're fucking.
Yeah, it's like
not even somebody to take care of the kids they had.
It's like, no, I promise.
Yeah, I know, but
that's
he's
Oh, for sure.
so it was part of the reason that all of it, including Sally Hemings, that his loves were all secret because he was ashamed of every woman that he loved after that.
That's hot.
And so there was a woman in Paris. She was a British painter, and her husband. She was a woman. She was married, but she was a painter, and she fell in love with Thomas Jefferson, and they were very much in love with each other. But then the way they broke up was very funny to me because he wrote her these beautiful letters. She was in love with him. He was in love with her. But then the French, when he was leaving France, they wanted a great portrait of him to put in the National Gallery. And they said to him, you can choose any painter in the world. And he was like, no, I want, a real guy. His girlfriend was like, why not me? And he's like, baby, come on. I mean,
you're good.
You're good, but you're not like fucking grown man good. You're not like fucking, I'm not for history.
True. These guys were that's the weirdest thing, how history mind. They were like knowing they were going to get sucked into history, which is crazy to think about.
Hey everyone, so if you liked this video and want to see all the other presidents, please give us a like, then subscribe, and hit the bell to get notified when we post the next one. Thank you and see you next time, I guess.